provided a packet. I'm going to go over the details really quickly because there's only 3 minutes and there's a lot to talk about. But very specifically, I want to make sure that the council knows that what we're asking for is essentially for council to speak with the Portland Development Commission to ask them to reverse their decision on the purchase of a property for Gilbert Place. And just as some context, the ask that we have, it comes to less than 0.2% of the total remaining indebtedness for the urban renewal area. So it's not really very much at all. There's 2 tracks that the community will benefit from this project. It's a multi-use development that has economic development as part of it. In fact, it's probably the main thrust of it. I'll use my street as an example of how it benefits long-term residents. On my street, you'll see a page in there of the loss of value of properties on my street. There's 25 properties. $2.3 million has been lost in the last couple of years. The average loss is 40%. So what that means is essentially almost half of a folks' retirement is gone, which means that aging in place is not an option, it's something that's going to be mandatory. So having something close by to walk to, as far as retail, is going to be extremely important. As far as our other residents who are low income who moved into the area, we use Leander Court as an example. I've attached a sheet from Leander Court that shows that of the 37 units there's now 190 residents. 120 of them are children, 70 of them are adults. The underemployment rate is 65%. That's up 5% from what it was a couple of years ago. There's also a copy of a survey in there that about 1/3 of the residents participated in that shows that they're clearly interested in starting their own business and have some skills that will translate into that. So one of the things that I'd like folks to think about is affordable housing, for the most part, I think, is thought of as a lifeboat. But is it really a lifeboat if there's no oars and there's no sails for people to move forward in a positive direction? Because the turnover at Leander Court is very, very low. So most of the people who filled out that survey 3-4 years ago are probably still there, and their lives have not changed or possibly have gotten worse. So Gilbert Place is the tool that can help provide them with the ability to move forward. So that's really what we're asking for, is really just a chance to try and get something happen. Because while we understand that there's lots of things that are really challenging about this project, and with big challenges comes high risk, but really the only risk, or rather the biggest risk, is probably failure, but really ultimately the biggest failure is not to try. And we're willing to try, and we need your support in order to make that happen. So thank you very much.